Have you ever thought how the war machine melted the Iron Curtain? A 25-year project. What movies portray never gets old, and this photo is shocking because it reveals the truth of both North and South fear the most. One night, a Korean soldier went wild, charging into North Korea's border zone, gunfire blazing like a party. Shattered the peace between Koreas. The wounded South Korean soldier fled awkwardly, while North Korea lost 2 and injured 1. See a small-scale party gone wrong. This case was intricate, with countless doubts, and both Korea's guard levels soared, but just a while ago. This extremely perilous area, known as the DMZ, was actually resonating with continuous laughter, as soldiers from both the North and the South exchanged jokes to pass the time during the otherwise monotonous work hours. There wasn't a whiff of tension. Once, a foreign tourist dropped their hat on the north side seat just a step away. But no one dared. Then a North Korean soldier tapped his hat, smiled, and handed it back, like magic. Totally different from the media's demonic image. There's true humanity after all. Soldiers even played the South-North water diversion game, once an insult, now their only legal chat. The tragedy began 8 months ago one night, when a South Korean soldier accidentally strolled into North Korea, like groups. They fled in terror but forgot one guy, a poor fellow named Lee Soo-haek, who was, shall we say, indisposed in the bushes. When he realized it and tried to leave, he lucked out by stepping on a landmine. Lucky or unlucky, you decide. The radio had completely malfunctioned, and he was utterly stuck there. Suddenly, he heard a little noise and raised his gun, heart racing, only to find it was a little dog. Then, a North Korean soldier showed up, and they both stared at each other, dumbfounded. Lee Soo-haek reacted quickly, but little did he know a second North Korean soldier was already behind him, and he got tackled. His gun was taken from him as if by magic, which is the North Korean version of Endless Arm, while PVT. Jung Yoo-jin was just as scared. Lee Soo-haek threatened him not to move, and surprisingly, the guys actually listened. He turned and walked away without a glance, leaving Lee Soo-haek shocked. They absolutely won't act impulsively again, huh? The killer move. See you next time. Help me, Ugh the weeping giant, indeed. Not one to stand idly by and let anyone perish. This experienced fellow quickly defused the mine and left a souvenir for Lee. He even borrowed 2 imported cigarettes as thanks. Just like that, it was over. For Lee Soo-haek, it was a wake-up call. North Korean soldiers weren't monsters, and this enemy saved his life. Since then, Lee had been itching to say thanks, but their next meeting was in a snowstorm during deep winter. That day, the North and South patrols happened to cross paths in the snow, and the tension was nowhere near what one would expect. The leaders nonchalantly stepped forward to exchange cigarettes, like old friends. Lee finally recognized it was the Endless Arm from that night. They exchanged smiles as if reuniting with old pals. From that day on, despite their opposing sides, they began to have private chats on the down low. During the shifts, they would tease each other. Since they couldn't meet up any time, they threw down notes at night. One night, Lee Soo-haek couldn't hold back anymore and boldly crossed over, only to be met with 2 guns at his door. It turned out Jung Yoo-jin was joking about inviting him over for a party, and Lee fell for it, sneaking over in the middle of the night. Seeing he wasn't welcomed, Lee turned to leave, but this reunion was going to be unforgettable. They laughed like old buddies, drinking and teasing. Jung joked about how South Korea's service was only 2 years, while he had a whopping 13. Lee knew it was short service for him, but speedy skills with the gun made it even tighter competition. He demonstrated, and wow, it was quick. See Jung's eyes nearly popped out from watching. The seasoned soldier, Woo Jing-bai, was unfazed. He said real battle isn't about speed but about staying calm. Why are you so hot-headed trying to protect me? Chill out. He chuckled. Here's my advice. Don't mind the moment. Even Lee felt that bringing American lighters for Woo and fragrant magazines for Jung was a nice touch. Both North Korean soldiers were absolutely enthralled, with expressions of awe exclaiming, "Capitalism is indeed powerful and extraordinary." But just then, a North Korean officer unexpectedly dropped by, and the two got a serious dressing down. Thankfully, he refrained from coming inside to check, otherwise, you can only imagine the dire consequences that would have ensued. He wasn't even scared. The next day, he complained about how he was about to be discharged. Spending solitary hours pretending to be busy, he thought what a lonely task ahead. Finally, he decided to introduce his friends to the North Korean brothers, but that night he just couldn't pump up the courage. They were on a real-life bridge of no return, located in the Korean Peninsula's Joint Security Area. Originally, it bore the name of the San River Bridge. Upon the termination of the Korean War in 1953, the UN forces escorted the captured North Korean soldiers to this specific bridge. Nowadays, it's primarily a venue for parties. Stay tuned to see what exciting developments lie ahead.